Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a really quick video on how I backtest. Been seeing a lot of questions in the community, had a lot of people reach out to me asking, how do you backtest? And after kind of playing around with it these past couple weeks, I think I have a good grasp on how I enjoy doing it, so I figured I'd make this quick video. The way I start is I basically have been using a 3-chart layout, but at the end of the day you can use 2 if you only are a Pro Plus plan on TradingView. But essentially, you can use any way that you want. I use the daily, the 4-hour, and the hourly as my chart setup, but you could use the 4-hour and the hourly if you only have a Pro plan. But nonetheless, that's how I kind of set things up. You want to make sure that you have your drawings synced. Crosshairs, incredibly helpful as well, and symbol can help you get set up a little bit quicker, but it's not necessary. So basically what I have here and what I'm looking at is on the daily, you'll see that we've rejected this high in this ascending channel. We've broken it somewhat correctively, but started to form what's looking like more of a flag. And initially I was looking at an impulsive break, but we've come back into the pattern. So you can choose to do this one of 2 ways, really. You can say that, just evolve, nothing's really changed about the pattern, or you can just kind of rein it in. It's really up to you. I've chose to just rein it in and focus on what I'm noticing on the hourly here, this overall ascending channel. It's also visible on the 4-hour as well. It is pretty impulsive to the upside, but kind of keeping the higher time frame in mind. That's kind of how I'm framing up my analysis. So basically, what I'm looking at is a test of these highs to see if we are going to go up for a third touch or not. Knowing that we don't necessarily have to go up, but essentially just an impulse, look for some type of ascending channel, take a sell, or if we get an impulse up, a retrace, I'll look to take a risk entry and just look to take the break to the 90%. So the way I have it set up in terms of these lines, you're probably wondering is, what are they for, and how do they work in terms of backtesting? So what I've done is I've essentially just used the horizontal ray vertical array as a guideline to kind of sync all the charts. So right now they're all set up. The 4-hour is at the hourly close. Same thing with the daily. So essentially what I want to do is just move the 4-hour 1 over, so I know that once this hour bit of price action completes, I can move the candle forward on the 4-hour, and the same thing, once the 4-hour reaches this line, we can advance the daily candle, and it just keeps things a little bit easier in terms of monitoring all 3, because unfortunately there's no way to control them all at the same time, so we've got to put a little bit of ingenuity in our process. So basically, yeah, let's get started. So just keep walking price forward. We're seeing a reaction here, looking interesting. Okay. And so what I have now is we've met the line. So what I can do is click on the 4-hour chart, click next, and we'll just see that we have reacted basically to the touches here. And yeah, so now I can just, again, move the line forward 1 more to just sync it up. So we have 4 more 1-hour candles to go. Just keep pushing this forward, seeing, okay. All right, so again, just kind of keep walking price forward, sync it up. We're seeing a nice impulsive move to the upside. Again, just trying to see what we do at these potential high here. And move this candle 1 more over. Again, we just want 1 candle in between. And then we have the 4 candles, so keep walking on the 1-hour. So we get the nice impulsive move to the upside. Okay, and a retrace candle. So like I said, if we get that, I will take a sell. So we know to the high we have about 14 pips. Obviously, that's a little too aggressive. So I say, 25 pips should be good. Obviously, knowing if we go up to the 3rd touch, I'll get tagged out, but it's no big deal. So we'll aim for the 90% rule initially, and you know how I trade. Use the fib tool just to kind of use my RR. So we will get that set up. Sometimes a little bit of a pain when you go on the left side, but no big deal. All right. Now that we got that all set up, we can just walk price forward and see what happens. Okay. So we've been tagged into the trade, and again, we've met up with the blue line. Can advance the chart forward. We'll see that we got a nice high test candle to retrace this move. You could argue you'd want to take the break. Semantics at this point, we're focusing on backtesting, of course. So again, just reset the line, move it forward 1 more, and okay, go back to the hourly, and let's just see how this move continues. Okay, so almost at 1%. We've closed just a little bit past 1%. This would be up to you in terms of move to break even or not. I think it's a good idea, so just move to break even, and we'll continue. So met up with our line again, and what we can see, go boom, get the nice impulsive move, reset our line, and carry on. You notice it just takes a little bit getting used to the lines and how that reacts. It takes a little bit of time. Sometimes you'll walk the hourly forward before you actually continue the 4-hour and whatnot. It's just a process. You get used to it over time. So we'll just reset and keep going. So we're noticing a little bit impulsive move to the upside. Trade's still very much intact, so I'm not too concerned. Obviously, it's coming close to the stop loss, but nothing to worry about. Okay, and can do the next one. And what we'll notice now is we've actually met up with our daily candle, so we can reset this line, move it forward, and play that forward. And what we'll see is the nice doji, the move up, and the move down. So this is looking like a pretty good trade setup, even from the daily, the way it's set up. So again, now we'll reset our 4-hour, go forward, and just keep going. So we're going pretty close to my stop loss. Might get tagged out of this trade, but one thing I'm also noticing as well is just this overall nature here. So I'll just add this in real quick. Not the cleanest. We don't really have a top yet, but just put the top in just to keep it a little bit easier. So keep walking it forward. Okay, great. Didn't even form a top, so I wouldn't have necessarily put a trade on there. It's a little too narrow, but really nice drop there. So we can just move the 4-hour one more forward. We'll see that really nice impulsive candle. Again, just move that forward. Let's scale that so we can take a look at the bigger picture. And away we go again on the 1-hour. Keep going. I guess this would be a great time to start locking in some profits, not too much. If you see my last YouTube video or last video that I made, just kind of keeping this 90% rule very much intact. So what I'm going to do is not lock in too much. I think that would be too aggressive. Just keep it somewhere here, give this a little bit of room. We're about, let's see, about 14 and 15 pips away from my stop loss, so that gives quite a bit of room. I know we're at almost 3%, locking in just under 1, but it's a high probability setup, so there's no need to be too aggressive. So see, we're starting to kind of retrace up just a little bit, no big deal. 4-hour, noticing a little bit of a bottoming out in line with kind of this low, so we'll just kind of have to monitor how that pans out, but nothing to worry about. Move that forward, just keep going. Okay, nice impulse, and just like I said, went up to retest this 90%. Doesn't happen all the time, but it's always something to keep in the back of your mind as you're going through the charts. Okay, again, 4-hour, playing out the candle forward. See that nice impulsive move, retrace down. Again, just right into that 90%. Move that forward one more time. Okay, get a nice drop again. You could have played this probably as a flag as well, but again, like the last setup, it's not really clean enough. If you're on the 15-minute and you wanted to integrate that into your backtesting, you totally could. Definitely be more setups because we know we're entering the impulsive phase, so that would be a great time to use the 15-minute. But yeah, and this is exactly what I do from backtesting. I found it to be the most effective in terms of just keeping yourself really aware of the higher time frame picture, because it's so easy to get lost into that. So it's kind of one of those things where it's helpful to trade it in the line of the higher time frame. We know that from all of the content. So backtesting should be exactly the same, just not focusing on the 1-hour time frame. You're gonna you don't trade like that, so there's no point to be backtesting like that. So I'm gonna stop the video here. I think you get the idea of how I backtest, and I hope this video has been helpful for you and just gives you a different way to kind of approach your backtesting.